Hello, this is Dale Rogerson and welcome to Dale's Delectables. Today's lesson is chicken stock. Today I've decided to use a fresh chicken. Sometimes I'll use just the bones after I've roasted it, but this time I decided to splurge. I wanted to make a couple meals out of it. So first things first, even though I get mine from an organic chicken farm, I still have to wash it carefully. Inside the cavity, cold water, and out. And don't forget the neck, lots of stuff in the neck. Got my pot. I had to use an extra big stock pot this time because this chicken is so big, it's the size of a turkey. And I'll add a little bit more water. I thought I had enough. That could have been ugly. So obviously the more water there is, the more stuff you'll have. Bring this over to the... Tell me it's not a big job. Heavy dub. And on to getting our vegetables. Very important, when you've touched raw chicken, you must wash your hands. You don't want to be contaminating anything. Okay. Who stole my knife? Jeez! So efficient, I put all my stuff away before I even needed to use it. Now, I just cut off these ends of celeries because they didn't fit in my little celery kit because I got one of those old Tupperware things that are 1,000 years old. So waste not, want not. I'm just going to plop this in. So what you need is, they say 2 small carrots, but because I have so much stock, I use 2 large carrots. If it's garden time, I would use them for my garden. I would just wash them. But because they come from the store, wrapped up in plastic, I did peel them. And they only need to be quartered. Cut in half, well, depending on the size, obviously. We're just using them for their flavor. Whatever's going to be left over, we will be chucking. And they will go. Doesn't matter the order you do these, as long as you just plop it all in. Same thing with the celery, just in chunks. Now, if you were doing this chicken stock a la française, you would have no peels, no carrots, nothing that would color the broth. They like it to be as clear as possible. But I'm doing Nick Stellino's version. I've been doing this since 1997 because I used to watch him on PBS. As you can see from my lovely book here, I follow it to the letter. So, skins and all, we don't care. Carrots and all, we don't care. One thing that always puzzled me, though, and we'll get to that in a second. The very first time I made this broth, it was a question of one thing leading up to another. I had decided to make his recipe. It was a stuffed eggplant doohickey. I needed chicken stock to make the tomato sauce. I needed tomato sauce to make the meat sauce. So I made the chicken stock, made the tomato sauce, made the meat sauce, and then put it all together. Yeah, never again. It was a 3-day thing. So here's the puzzling thing. I had to Google it because it was driving me crazy. I've been doing it for years, I don't know why. To put in 2 eggs and their shells. Why, you may ask? Apparently it helps bring the calcium out of the bones. Oh yes, of course, you didn't see me, but I did wash my eggs. I always wash my eggs. I'm going to wait till it's boiling before I add my egg yolks because I've noticed otherwise they go all the way to the bottom and then they just curdle there. So, you need a few sprigs of thyme. He says 10 leaves of basil. Yeah, that's about it. And a bunch of parsley. And a couple bunches of rosemary. No ceremony, just plop that puppy in. Next, we need some peppercorns. Exactly 1 tablespoon. And some white wine. Exactly 1 cup. What do you think? That should be about it, right? I luckily have a bay leaf plant, so I'm adding my 2 bay leaves. And the last item is some salt. Exactly 1 teaspoon. Bring all of this to a boil, and once it's boiling we'll add our eggs, and then after that we will be stirring it a little bit, and we will have to skim it because there will be schmeg in this one too. Okay, so now I think it's hot enough that the egg won't just all go to the bottom. So you take the 2 eggs, scramble them up a bit, and pour them in. I guess they'll give their extra juiciness. It will start boiling a little bit harder, and when it does boil, what we do is we come back every 30 seconds and we take off any schmeg that might be there. So I'm going to leave this cover half off for the next 2 hours. Alrighty, so about half an hour has gone by of cooking, and as you can see, we have this schmeg stuff. This apparently comes from the bones and whatnot, and you really don't want it in your chicken stock. I mean, even though you'll be straining it, you still have to get rid of it. So I'm going to do this, and then once I've done this, I'll go back every half hour or so, and then we'll strain our stock. Okay, this puppy is cooked. Let the fun begin. I will try not to make a mess. Can't guarantee it. Grab my tongs. Alright. Now the chicken is cooked. I mean, it's cooked. Try not to burn myself either. As you can see, oh, there go the legs. And if I was doubting whether it was cooked or not, those doubts are now gone. Take the rest of my carcass. Oh, even the dog has come by hoping that something's gonna fall. Sorry, Zeke. I have 2 legs in there. Nope, here's the other one. We can strain out that other crap after. So now that, let me just go fishing to make sure. Okay. Now that that's all done, I'm going to attempt to not burn myself. Now if we were really, really fancy, we would put a cheesecloth in here, but I don't mind if there's little bits of herbs that go in. So very carefully we pour. Oh my goodness, this is heavy. I think what I'm going to do is use my brain a little bit. I'm going to strain out some of the big veggies and then I'll pour the rest of it. Okay, so while I was looking for my little Chinese strainer here, my cameraman was stealing some chicken and sharing it with the dog. I'm telling you, you can't trust good help today. So I'm looking at my carrots in here and they're looking pretty nice, so I think I'm going to actually use them in my chicken soup, my chicken noodle soup, which will make my youngest very happy. Although I do ruin it with lots of veggies as far as he's concerned. Oh, he's found chicken wing. Waste not, want not. I think the rest should be able to strain. There we go. Did I say I was making a lot of chicken stock? I think I'm going to make 3 soups with this puppy. I'll have to strain into another bowl. So, my friend Nick Stelino suggests that we put it in the fridge overnight, and that way there will be a crust of fat that will come off the top. So if you want to take off the fat because you want to eat a little bit healthier, then it's the way to go. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Dale's Delectables, and we'll be making your own chicken stock soon.